So it's not the problem with the AI, it's how we're training the AI.
Ceaneh, you have held leadership roles at giants like J&J, Abbott, Aon, and now co-founded Catapaultt.
There are so many single person billion-dollar companies now because of the access to technology.
Are MSPs still stuck?
Work-life balance is a myth. Let's throw it out the window. There's no such thing as a work-life balance.
17% of US hiring managers have encountered deepfake candidates. What is your take on that?
I personally do not like meetings. So never is a strong word. I don't like to say never because I don't know what AI is going to look like in the future.
What fueled the leap from corporate to launching your own venture?
It will be you don't have to have it all figured out because no one does.
Hello everyone, this is Anamika Jain from BuzzClan and welcome to Rise and Real podcast series. Today we have a very near one and dear one to me, procurement powerhouse to people first innovation, Ceaneh Alexis, building, leading and transforming workforce strategy. Welcome Ceaneh.
Hey, hello, how are you?
I am good. How are you doing, Ceaneh? Tell us, something about you to just start with it.
Well, it is nice and sunny in Georgia today, so it's a beautiful day. I went for a walk this morning in the park, so I'm refreshed and ready to chat with you.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. So I know Ceaneh from 3 years ago. I think we met during Club VMSA in Florida, and since then, her classes have been really interesting to me, and I love them all. And I think you get so many compliments out there from everybody around, right? Why not start from there?
Well, so I fell into the glasses thing. I've worn glasses since I was a kid, middle school. And then when I got to high school, I started to wear contacts, but I never liked putting on contacts. So when COVID happened, I just stopped wearing contacts 'cause I was in the house and I started to wear glasses more. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just skip the contacts. And then I started to get more, I guess, expressive with my glasses. They match my mood, they match my outfits. I'm not going to say how many I have, but I have quite a few.
We all know that. And trust me, you motivate me to do the same as well. And I used to wear contacts earlier, but now I got my love for glasses. Truly.
Yes.
Ceaneh, you have held leadership roles at giants like J&J, Abbott, Aon, and now co-founded Catapaultt. What fueled the leap from corporate to launching your own venture? That's quite scary in this kind of market today, but very interesting and very motivating as well.
Yeah, so I would say I've always had the independent consultant bug. And one thing most people don't know about me, I was an independent consultant for a year in 2014. When I left J&J, I really loved it. I loved the flexibility. I love working on a variety of projects, but I got cold feet. My kids were young. I was like, you know what? Maybe I should focus on steady income for a while. So I found a job. And that's when I moved from Indiana to Chicago to work for Abbott. And then I started to think about it again. My husband was like, stop talking about this and just do it. So I'm at a phase in my life where I'm checking things off my bucket list. And this has been on my list for a while. So 2024 was the perfect time. I got separated from Aon. I was like, you know what? Maybe I should test this out again. So I took all of 24 off. We went on vacations, and then this year I really started to work on my business in earnest. And I can tell you it's been scary, it's been humbling, and it's been exciting all at the same time.
Amazing. And I didn't know about the Indiana thing, but tell me, you have been into this pharma domain for so many years.
Right.
J&J, Abbott, transformation of the industry, coming to Aon, how it was challenging at the same time, and how you cope up with that.
It was a leap of faith. And I never thought I would stay at Aon that and then that long. So that's one other thing as we talk about learnings. You just never know how things will pan out until you try. I was a product geek. I've worked in product development. I've done product commercialization. I've worked with R&D. I love products.
Mm.
So when I joined Aon, it was something new. The biggest shock for me is working at a company without products. You can walk the manufacturing floor. You don't see your products in the store. So one, that was a big adjustment for me. I think the other adjustment for me was just the dynamic industry compared to what I was used to in med device and pharma. The insurance and financial services industry are it's very competitive. Where I was used to more collaboration across the pharma companies from a drug the development standpoint. So those were different, but I think I really loved my time at Aon, and the people I worked with were phenomenal, and hence why I stayed a long time. And I think it also helped me spark my interest again in consulting.
So, you have seen procurement evolve over the last 2 decades. What is one misconception people still have about strategic sourcing and external workforce programs?
Awesome. So I'll take that as a two-part question. And it's funny. So I'm not a procurement person. I kind of fell into procurement. So my background is IT. I worked in IT for a long time. Did a short stint in R&D doing product commercialization. I was told, you know what? Go and work in procurement. And what I love about procurement is it is one function within the firm that has a view across all functions. So they have a pulse on what is happening across the board within the company, but also a pulse from the market standpoint because of the suppliers and stuff like that. And I think a lot of people assume procurement is like this tactical group, very reactive, just do some contracting. And I think the companies that really optimize and get the greatest value from the procurement org really view their procurement as a strategic function that can actually drive innovation. And I think of procurement as an orchestra. Like they orchestrate pieces within the company to bring results together. But I've also seen them where they're like the quiet genius in the class who is underestimated and never gets to meet their full potential. So I think some companies get it right. And also, as markets are getting tighter, margins are getting tighter, companies are forced in order to figure out how can they maximize their resource. And I think procurement has a lot of hidden gems and ideas to make that happen. Now, when we think of workforce management, that's a whole nother ball game. And I think I last night I just watched the hour-long launch from OpenAI for Chat GPT-5. And I really think we're at a cusp of something great as it comes to how people work and the world of work. And I'm really excited about how technology and Gen AI is really going to transform the industry from the skills that are required. They're redefining what are entry level jobs, they're redefining how we do work. They're also giving access to smaller players who have less dollars that can actually drive innovation. So innovation is not just like guarded by the big dogs anymore. There are so many single person billion-dollar companies now because of the access to technology. So I'm really excited about the future.
I know. Whenever I talk to you about technology, I just can keep on listening. And trust me, anybody who talks to Sienna about that, it's so interesting and so focusing. Sienna, we know you for building high impact teams with all your experience that you have done before. What's your build the bench philosophy?
Skills are important and experience are important, but I love to also hire for potential. And let me explain that. So if you look at my resume, you're either very confused, like what is she doing, or you'd be like, she really has experience in a lot of things. I like people who are curious. I like people who have experience in a lot of different areas, and who have a track record of driving change. And for example, if I'm hiring a procurement category manager, they may not have a track record in driving change in procurement, but have they driven change in their community? Have they driven change in marketing? So I really like to look at potential and not get too caught up in the requirements of the job, if I must say it. I think the other thing that I look at is diversity of team, and not just diversity from race or gender, but also experiences. So when you look at me, I'm Ceaneh, I'm a female, I'm Black. But do you know that I was an immigrant? Do you know that I was a refugee? I was raised by a single mom. I've lived in a lot of countries. So all those experiences shape me, and I bring those experiences to how I work. So I look for that in people as well. And I think the last thing is about trust and relationships.
Mm.
It is so funny. I just met up with a lady a week ago for coffee. I interviewed her for a role when I was hiring for my team at Abbott, like in 2018 or 2017. She wasn't hired for the role, but we kept in touch. And now years later, 2025, we're discussing doing something together. So
Oh,
you just never know. And
yes.
I think just having those relationships with great people are critical as well.
Yes, yes, that's amazing. Well, just because talking about the change, when I talk to some people, I get to know that change is demanded when it comes to the resume and interviews. But when the real time comes for the change, it's not easy to accept that. Do you see those kind of situations
Yeah,
where,
I mean, I think interviewing is like dating. We all are on our best behavior
yes,
trying to impress the other person. So you kind of have to go beyond the standard questions and just get to know the person, and even and just go with your gut, because yes, have I made bad hires? Right, I have. But you can't just be fooled by the resume and the standard answers and stuff like that. I look to how people interact, how to interact when they walk in the room with the people they meet in the building. So it's a lot. It's a for me, it's a full spectrum of things. And yes, you may get to a transformation and things may not go as well. But then it's also giving grace. I remember the first time I made a mistake with my boss at Aon, and I was shocked by his response. And that really was a defining moment for me, because we are humans and humans make mistakes and things happen. And I think how we figure out to get across from that and not making the same mistakes over and over again, it is the critical piece.
I see Catapult, I see your vision, and it's eliminating internal friction when it comes to your consulting. Can you unpack a little bit about it to us?
Sure. So I'm an optimizer at heart, and I struggle with inefficient processes. It's
Okay.
just the way I am. I think it must be my product design background. I'm constantly looking at things and figure out how we can make it better. And years ago, I heard this quote in my design thinking class. I don't know who said it, but it goes, we spend a lot of time building or designing the bridge, but not enough time thinking about the people who will cross it. And I think that's the fundamental problem we have in enterprises, and not just large. And now with Catapult, I talk to small business owners in companies in general. There's a lot of processes that are not designed for how humans work with the process. So we spend a lot of time going around the process, trying to do things to meet the requirements of the process, but not trying to figure out how we just make this process seamless so people don't avoid the process or avoid us. So I think one of the friction I see is just people are bogged down and overworked because they're trying to meet requirements of a process and not trying to meet requirements of what the job or the work that they're doing. I think the other thing that is a lot now with the rapid change in technology is just technology overwhelm.
Mm.
So a lot of companies are bringing a lot of technology. Some may not have the right strategy on how to use it. Some employees have not been upskilled on how to use it. So there's frustration in both ways. One, there's too much of it, And two, I'm not sure how this fits in with my job, or I'm not sure if it's going to replace my job. There's a lot of tension, and I would say undue stress that could be minimized if there was a more surgical and deliberate execution of those strategies from that standpoint. I think the third piece, and is a phrase that I spoke at another AI conference. I call it the life work tech disconnect. So think about your personal life. You have your phone. It's like a supercomputer in your palm.
Yes.
Everything is personalized. You can talk to Siri. You go to Amazon. They just know what you want. I mean, things just happen, right? It's so
Yes.
easy. Then you come to work and you feel like you're in a stone age. I mean, all the systems you try to work with are not as seamless. It's not personalized for you. So is that's the other friction we're seeing. And I'm hoping as technology is getting cheaper and easier and more options and with Gen AI, that our work life start to look like our personal life, where technology is more seamless and works with us and not against us.
Yeah, yeah. But Sienna, at the same time, when I attend these cybersecurity conferences, I get scared of my life so much out there, even in my personal devices, right?
Right.
And we think about something, we talk about something, and the next very moment, like in a few minutes, we do see some options coming up on Instagram and Facebook. So yes, it sounds scary, but yes, it puts us at ease. We don't need to do much of hard work in order to choose things but yes, that's why I feel nowadays people are talking a lot about regulatory and compliance and the security, because everything is a boon and the bane. So yes,
Yeah. And I think also with anything new, there is the apprehension and
yes,
fear.
yes,
Think back to years ago when we had to do money. We had to go to a bank to talk to a teller and get cash. Now you send money with Zelle.
yes.
You know, if you make a mistake, it's gone forever, but we use it anyway. Do you know how many cyber breaches there are? It's like we're so numb to it. All your information is on the black web. If someone wanted to find out about you, they
Oh
could. So
my
it's
God,
already
embarrassed.
available. It's already available. I
Yes,
mean, I Google
yes,
myself on a regular basis just to see what's out there. But I mean,
yes,
you're if you're using Facebook, you're using Instagram, any software you're using for free, they're taking your information. That's why
yes,
it's free.
yes.
So unless we decide to lock everything down, the information is already readily available.
Yeah, I know, I know. And trust me, after attending that cybersecurity session and everything, I told my daughter not to download any of the games in my phone. Take your tab, do it separately over there,
Yeah.
and we should not have any bank accounts or something in that tab. So
Yes,
use it for that purpose. Don't touch my phone.
I agree. And I think that for me, I definitely think there's a real issue with our youth. Um, But like with anything, there will be good actors and bad actors, and we just hope that the good actors can overcome some of the bad actors. But there will always be good and bad,
Yes. Yeah.
and there's just a choice you have to make.
Yeah, you need to choose the good with the minimal risk of bad, I feel.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So, well, I wanted to talk to you about culture, Gen Z, and balance. You have Gen Z around you. How have your views evolved on flexibility, tech adoption, or even leadership tone?
Yes, I do have three Gen Zs in my house, and it's funny. I really learn a lot from them. I really one of the big things is my oldest is 20 and 23.
Mhm.
Um, I love just how authentic and they bring their whole self to everything. I think I was born in an age where you control the narrative. You project a certain image at work and then you relax at home. Whereas with them, there's less compartmentalization. It's just one. And it's funny, like when I was doing something, I think I was submitting an RFP for a project or whatever, and I was torn. Do we put our pictures on the profiles or not? He's like, Mom, doesn't really matter if they don't want to work with you. Do
Yes.
you want to work with them if they see your pictures and you're not? So also when it comes to balance, they're really into their mental health and protecting their space. They're not like us. When I was younger, I was so driven and work, work, work. I mean, I told someone we're all running, and I'm not sure where we're running to,
Yeah.
but they're really focused on getting balanced. They don't just work, they don't just live to work. They
Yes.
want to have their personal life, they want to go to the gym, they want to hang out with friends and fit work and work into there as well. And when it comes to tech, I don't know what my youngest is the most tech savvy person. He constantly has VPNs and all kinds of things running with his
Yeah.
roadblocks and his so yeah, it's just refreshing being around all those new ideas and learning new ways to look at things and also challenging my mind and mindsets on how I am a leader and managing people that I interact with as well.
Yes, yes, I hear you. I have just a 10-year-old at home, and for everything which I question, she's like, why you even need to think about it?
Right, right.
Go ahead. So sometimes I feel these little kids, and of course, Gen Z, when it comes to the workplace, they boost that motivation when you're thinking about something, whether it is right or not. Let's go ahead with it.
Mhm.
Actually, rise with reality, I can say.
Yeah. And I was at a workforce conference a couple weeks ago, and there was some challenge about Gen Z and millennials and how they're lazy and and not equipped. And I have a different perspective to it because I'm around young folks. 'Cause I have teenagers and young adults, and they have friends. I think they're very smart. They understand technology, but I think we also, as the boomers, or one of my Gen X, I'm not even sure. I think we have a view of how the workplace should be, and we're being rigid and forcing them to accept the way we have created without stepping back and thinking maybe they have some good points here. Maybe we should not be like so consumed by work. So I really think it's us being also more open minded and then finding a common ground for saying you must do it my way from that standpoint.
So, based on articles, I'm going to share some of the articles' phrases with you, and I would love to know your viewpoint about it. So, AI interviews and deepfake risk. 17% of US hiring managers have encountered deepfake candidates. What is your take on that? When AI was not there, we already juggle with the deepfake interviews where somebody else is interviewing in the place of other person and somebody else is showing up.
Mhm.
Now with AI, you can do a lot more. So, what do you feel? What is the challenge? What are the precautions that it's a need in the talent industry to be taken?
Yeah, I think when it comes to this one, is really how can we solve the root cause of the problem? Because again, with anything, there'll be good actors and bad actors. So before we have deep fake, there were people who would lie on their resume, right? So the problem is untrue information in the interview process has always been there. It's just taking a different form right now with deepfakes. And I think we should focus on how we get solutions to mitigate not having deep and deep fix. I know there's some software right now that can track to make sure you're human, make sure you're the same person. I would focus on that. The other thing I would say is I don't think most people are doing the right thing. And I hate to pivot to the small few that are
Mm.
doing the wrong thing and make everyone else's life miserable. As my older son would say when we have a problem in the house, Mom, why are you saying we when you know the person who did it, right? So, I mean, look, there's going to be bad and bad actors. I don't think it's the norm, but I think technology is advancing where we can mitigate the risk from that standpoint.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And talking about the MSPs and the transactional challenge. Are MSPs still stuck in the submit and disappear mode or evolving into true partners for the clients?
It depends. I think there are some MSPs who are starting to evolve, and some of them are being forced to evolve based on pricing and margins. And time will tell which ones will remain and which ones won't. It's like an evolution or a business cycle. Think back to companies that were household names back in the day that longer exist, and then companies that were able to reinvent themselves and are still coming along. So I think it'll be the same thing. Some people will dig their heels in how things were and trying to go that way. And I've seen some who are starting to reinvent themselves. I think my only concern is make sure we actually change
Yes.
and not just put a new dress on or new
Yeah.
glasses on, but
Yeah.
same old, same old.
Yeah.
Because I think the clients are starting to read through that
Yeah.
as well. And those who are more agile and actually solving the problems client have, which is talent scarcity, the skills issue,
Yeah.
how do we build our pipeline, how we optimize our tech stack. Those are the ones that are going to move forward.
Yeah. Not to care attitude has lost now. People
Right.
started caring about it, digging in deeper,
Yeah.
talking more. So, yes, of course. So, the AI revolution is being compared to the shift from typewriters to computers. What's one thing AI should never touch when it comes to the hiring process?
So never is a strong word. I don't like to say never because I don't know what AI is going to look like
Yeah.
in the future. However, I really do things that humans have some basic traits as relates to building trust and critical thinking and connecting with others that AI cannot do yet,
Mm.
from that standpoint. So I won't say they should never do this, but I think right now the focus on human in the loop is critical. I know you're seeing the issue with AI in the recruiting. I'm not going to name the firm. There are several firms. They're having some challenges there because of bias, and it's because AI is being trained on data that's already biased. So
Mm.
yes, their decisions will be biased. So it's not the problem with the AI, is how we're training the AI. So
Yeah.
if we could train the AI with better information, then maybe in the future they
Yes.
can do it more effectively. So I wouldn't say never, but I think with the technology we have that
Yeah.
exists,
Yeah.
I think humans in the loop is critical to mitigate that bias. But on the flip side, humans are highly biased. If you have a brain, you're biased. And I think they've done some side by side studies that shows that when trained on the right data, AI is less biased than human,
Mm.
which is true. Because imagine if you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, you have road rage in the morning, you
Yeah.
fight with your partner, then you go interview someone, that is going to spill through. AI is not going to have that problem. That's why I don't want to say and never, because I think we could get to a point where they're more efficient than us in actually the screening process, but it's yet to come.
Talking about the women in leadership, research shows women lead with collaboration and empathy. Are women natural decision makers, according to you, because they juggle so much already in their internal life, making a lot of decisions every day? You agree or disagree?
I disagree that it's a gender thing. I think it's a skill that either gender can have. So think back to years ago when women were the primary caregivers. Yes,
Mm.
they do that, but not all women do it well. There are some women who make taking care of kids look so easy, and some be like, please, I just like my kids, and even some days I don't like my kids. But now we have a lot of stay-at-home dads, and there are dads who can do the same and juggling as women. So maybe there is scientific research, but I really think that's a skill that people can learn. Get that the empathy, the multitasking. Although scientifically proving your brain cannot multitask, that is a myth. But I really don't think it's a gender thing.
Coming to that, we see a lot of talks in pay parity and gender bias.
Mm,
And you have been at the leadership role. Do
yes.
you think that really is a concern while deciding on the pay and the roles, different type of roles and everything. So what's your thought process behind it?
As a female who is Black, it is a concern. And I think also as someone who has progressed in large companies and been in those discussions where we're discussing pay, it is a real issue. It's still a real
Mm.
issue. Now, how do we solve this issue? I'm not sure. I think there's structural frameworks that reinforce this issue. For example, a lot of people say that women are bad negotiators. I disagree. I just think they work with the information they have, but companies should pay for the role based on what they're paying for the role. Why should it matter to a company what I made in my last job? Irrelevant.
Yeah,
It should matter
yeah,
what is the pay for this role at this in this time. So I think pay equity is still a thing, and it's even a bigger issue for my minority women as well. And then it comes into disabilities, and it's an issue when it comes to age. So I mean, there's a lot of factors that come into play, and we still have a ways to go there.
yeah, yeah. And I'm sure we're gonna reach over there. There are a lot of women doing a lot of amazing work. Kudos to everybody, and I'm sure we're gonna reach at that point. So now here we come with our rapid fire.
Oh, rapid fire. Okay.
And though you can answer with a one word or little elongated, I don't mind.
Okay.
We all
Okay.
here to hear
I'll keep
you.
it concise.
Yes. Worst buzzword you secretly love.
Synergy. I think I even use it a lot at home. My husband will be like, "Oh my God, there she goes again." Yes, I like synergy.
Okay. Meeting you would love to cancel forever.
I personally do not like meetings. I won't cancel all of them, but I would cancel meetings that should be an email.
Coffee or crisis call? What hits first?
Coffee, of course.
Coffee, of course. Great. Your career in a hashtag.
Reinvention.
Nice. That's great. And actually, I'm glad you gave it few seconds to think about it. So, reinvention, yes, that's a good one. Secret superpower when it comes to hiring from the leadership side.
I think I'm good at finding the diamond in the rough.
Oh, nice. Well, they shine. They shine in the rough.
There was shine, but I want to give a longer answer. The flip side to that, because I've been talking to my coach, is I also spend a lot of time shining the diamond. I need to learn to let go as well. Like I see potential in everything and I want to bring it forth. So that is a balance I have to strike.
What is work-life balance for you?
Work-life balance is a myth. Let's throw it out the window. There's no such thing as a work-life balance. I focus on, I try to prioritize the thing that's most important at that time. And sometimes it's work and sometimes it's life.
Mm.
And I think the key thing for me is prioritizing what I think is important at that time and giving myself grace because there's going to be mistakes and balls are going to drop.
Yes. And I would like to add 2 cents over here. Work-life balance for me is not a 8-hour shift. Because both of them are very interrelated. I
Yeah,
cannot separate them. If my work is not going good, it somehow affect me mentally
correct.
and
Yeah.
don't bring me 100% into my personal life. So it's like two hands, and the balance is that what you said, prioritize nicely so that your life can go balanced when it comes to your mental health and dealing with everybody in a good grace.
Yeah. And I also think having a great support system. I have a
Yeah.
wonderful partner. I will not be the person that I am if I didn't have the people around me
Yes.
who allow me to let the balls drop because they will pick it up while I do the other things.
Yes, yes, yes. Your proudest career achievement to date.
I think the proudest for me is where I am now. Like I'm living my wildest dreams and now I have to make bigger dreams.
Mm.
So for me, that's the proudest moment.
The book or podcast you always recommend. You can name ours as well.
The book I always recommend is Atomic Habits by Jane Clare.
Yes,
It's a
yes. Great.
phenomenal book. Where is it?
You
Right
have it
there.
over there?
It's right there. I read it
Okay.
every year.
Amazing. Amazing. And
And the podcast that I listen to consistently is called Diary of a CEO. My second favorite is Hidden Brain on NPR.
oh, nice one. Nice one. That I need to figure out. Yeah, that's a great one. One thing people don't know about you.
So a lot of people think that I'm very extroverted, but I suck at small talk. I'm not just want to dive in deep. I'm the kind of person I don't dip my toe in the water. I'm either in the water or I'm not. And that can be awkward when you first meet and meet people.
Okay. Well, she's not extrovert.
Well, I would say I'm extroverted in the right situations.
Yes. Yes.
But I'm not someone who loves to go to
Yeah.
network events like all the time. No, because it's all superficial discussions. I find exhausting.
Advice you wish you had known when you were 20s.
It will be you don't have to have it all figured out because no one does.
Yeah.
Just have to get going
Yeah.
because confidence comes from doing, not planning.
Yeah.
So when I see myself planning a lot, that is a sign that I'm avoiding something.
And I just wanted to add it over here for me. It's the overthinking I used to do. It's more like on the leap of faith you should have.
Yes, yes, yes.
So that's so amazing, Sienna, to talk to you, to know you more, and I wish you like all the best with Catapult and everything that is going on in the life. I'm sure that people who are watching this podcast, it will add some value to their life and the way you have succeeded, the way you have gone from different paths, and now you're doing your own consulting work. The dream that you are living right now, some people don't dare to live that dream. They're always stuck, in their work life, that what will happen in the future. And I'm
Right.
sure you're an inspiration to many of them, including me, including me. So thank
Well,
you so much.
I was stuck for a long time as well. So
Yeah.
I think just do it. What's the worst that could happen?
Yes.
Is what I say. I have a new saying in life: live loud, love hard. That's what I do.
Great. So here we end with this. Live loud and work.
Love hard.
Love hard. Oh, great, great. So here we end with this, guys. And thank you so much, Sienna, for being over here. And I loved each and everything about it. And I'm sure we are going to see you growing more, shining more. And you'll find her in many panels talking about AI, technology, Catapult. Don't forget to hear her out whenever you see her.
And thanks for having me. I really like this informal, unscripted format. It was a lot of fun.
Yes. Oh, yes. I wanted it to be unscripted, informal, so that we can talk something in real. But I'm sure that whenever it comes to you, I have lot to talk about. So probably I'll see you again. We never know. We have
You never know.
never
You
say
never know.
never.
Never say never.
Yes.